actually the director of all the fine arts in our district. And you had some pretty cool statistics that I'm going to let you share, with how many teachers and how many schools.
I get to work with 126 teachers across 45 different schools in the Paradise Valley School District. Teachers teach art and music and dance and theater. And when I was a teacher a long time ago, I was a band teacher. So if you were in band, I will tell you that I'm still in band because I still play tuba on Tuesday nights. And so, but when I'm not playing tuba or working, I like to do ceramics. And so about 10 years ago, I took a ceramics class and I fell in love with it. And I will tell you that what I'm about to show you today is unique to me. The beautiful thing about ceramics is that you can find things that are unique to you. Everybody wants to have their own voice, their own style, their own mark in the world. And you can do that with ceramics because you can make anything you want. So I brought some samples of the type of ceramics that I do. I used to sell in a gallery. The gallery closed, but I do sell and I work on commission, which means people pay me to make things for them. Right now, my project is to make gifts for my family, my brothers and sisters, and my children as well. And so I'm busily making bowls and barbells and wind chimes and all kinds of crazy things out of ceramics because that's what I like to do. This style of ceramic is called raku. It's a Japanese form of doing ceramics, where you form the piece, you fire it in a kiln so it becomes hard, you put the glaze on, and then put it in another kiln that heats it up so that it's bright orange hot. When it's bright orange hot, I reach in with a pair of tongs with a big shield and gloves to make sure I'm safe. Pull it out while it's super hot and put it into a trash can full of newspaper. What do you think happens when that takes place? You can talk. Yes.
The newspaper catches fire?
Not only does it catch on fire, but it bursts into flames. It doesn't even wait. It's pretty enthusiastic. And that's what causes the colors in raccoon. That's why I like raccoon. This is another example of raccoon. And what I was looking for was that I was looking for a piece that had kind of the texture of rhinoceros skin or elephant skin. I'm not sure I got there, but I think I got close. And you can see that, almost see the shadow of the flames looking up on the side when you put it in the can. That's what I like about raccoons because I never know what I'm going to get. Now the ceramics that you'll do here at school is much more predictable. This is a coffee cup that I use when I find it in the cupboard. Sometimes I'm drinking coffee when it's so dark in the morning I can always find it. But I made this cup and it is not raku, and its process does not involve being put into a garbage can full of paper. It's just what you will do here. You'll make the piece, you'll fire it, you'll glaze it, and you'll fire it one more time. All of these forms that I've shown you were made on a wheel, and a wheel is just a tool. And so what I've been asked to do by the teachers, by the way, teachers, thank you for asking me, is they've asked me to kind of come in and show you a little bit of how to use the wheel, what I do with the wheel. And then I've got some extra balls of clay here. We're going to ask one or two of you to try it as well. And so, because we had some last night, and as you can see, the last class, they were successful. Maybe it's not what I do, but it's what they did. And it's okay, because it was their first time. And we'll do the same thing here with you. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to demonstrate what I do. I'm going to model it for you, and then I'm going to finish up, and I'm going to ask two of you, if we have time, to go ahead and do what I did, and I'll stay here and I'll help you. Now remember, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. I like failure because it's a great teacher. It shows you what not to do the next time so that you don't keep making the same mistakes. And eventually you get the hang of it. How many of you skateboard? Okay. When you first started skating, did you fall down a lot? Yeah, big time. You're probably not falling down now though. Why? Because you practice. It's the same thing with a wheel. In the beginning, it's going to kind of look rough. At the end, it will look a little bit better. And so if you like the wheel, just practice, like anything else. And when I usually ask for understanding from groups, I'll say the Italian word, capisce, and I hope that you would say it back to me. So this is what we do. Capisce? Capisce. You are so much better than the first period. Thank you so much for being awake. So this is a potter's wheel. It's a tool. I'm going to get things that hang down out of the way, because if I'm down here and it gets caught, I'll be in for a really bad surprise, and I'm not really wanting to do that. This is a piece of material that keeps this bat It's called a bat. I don't know why it is. I've never bothered to research it. It's just called a bat. It keeps the bat from moving around. So the bat head, this wheel head that I'm touching here with my left hand, the wheel head has two little pins, and the pins line up with the holes on the bat to keep it from moving around. Like your teachers, they are practicing artists themselves. You've seen their work, and if you haven't, you can ask them because they're fantastic teachers and fantastic artists. We start with a blank canvas. So with water and a sponge, and I brought two sponges because I know some people are afraid of big sponges. I like big sponges, that's just me. I'm going to wring it out and start the wheel by pressing this pedal on the floor. The pedal's like the pedal of a golf cart, or like on those amusement bumper car rides at the state fair. Same process. You push down, it goes. You push back, it lets off. The difference is that this is not spring loaded. I can set it, and it'll go by itself because it doesn't have a spring in it. Okay, capiche? Capiche. Very good, because two of you are going to do this, man. You better be taking notes. All right, and it's actually pretty fun, pretty easy. Okay, I've got a wet sponge that I've wrung the water out. I'm going to go ahead and touch down to the bat, and I'm going to start at the middle and work my way out so that I now have a blank canvas. All right. I take a ball of clay. I'm going to take a bigger one because it's easier for you to see. And I want this to be smooth and round. You'll notice that I'm wearing an apron. You're going to get muddy. It's just the nature of the game. I'm sure there's clay on my glasses, and you know what? It's okay. It's just the way it goes. I'm going to make this nice and round and smooth, and I'm going to try and get it in the middle. And like a bicycle wheel where the axle is, you know, where it attaches to the frame of the bike, we want this clay to sit right in the center. Because the center is good. The center is where we want to be. The center is round. Anything away from the center is egg-shaped. And that's not good. Unless that's what you're shooting for. But that's a lesson for another day. So, clay, and I'm going to slam it down, but not so hard that I squish it. I'm going to slam it down so that it sticks to the bat. And I'm hoping that I get to the middle. All right, I won't know if I'm in the middle until I turn the wheel on, so I'm going to put it on full blast. And what we're looking for, this is twice in a row. I've never done this. Normally it's wobbly. I did pretty good. It's quiet. It's not doing this, right? Would you agree? This way for yes, this way for no, this way for what is he talking about? Okay, got it. All right, so what we want is we want this thing to be centered. I'm going to get my hands wet, very wet. I'm going to make sure that the clay is wet. I want it to be wet. Why? Because it's lubrication. It makes things slippery. Now with my two hands here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two karate chops. A left-hand karate chop and a right-hand karate chop. And I'm going to put my hands together to form a tool. And what I want to do is I want to form a very smooth, non-wobbly, round piece of clay. Capiche? Capiche. Very good. Okay, so it's nice and wet. I'm going to push my hands and elbows and my arms down to my legs so that it won't move me around because it's a lot stronger than I am. And I'm going to push down and in and just hold this one still. Yeah, it makes a fun sound, doesn't it? Is it perfectly quiet?
Almost.
Whoever said yeah is like not blind, like blind here. Is it moving back and forth?
A little.
A little. Well, I want perfect, and I get to have perfect because I'm in charge, and you're in charge when you do it. You get to get perfect. So let's see if we get perfect. How about that? Better, right? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Right, I agree. It's not wobbly. That means it's centered. Remember what happens if it's not centered? What shape do we get?
Wobbly.
Egg not good. Egg bad, not sure how to eat for breakfast, right? Okay. The next step is to make a hole. So the first step is center. Second step is make a hole. I'm going to make a tool with my hands. It's a peace sign together, turned over, and held with my other hand so that it's still and quiet and firm and hard and it won't move around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the top of the clay with my fingertip and then push down. And we're just going to make a hole. Now, what would happen if I went all the way through to the bottom? What kind of shape would we have? Kind of like a donut maybe, or a bagel? Yeah, and that's not going to hold coffee. That's not going to hold water for flowers if you're going to make a vase or